Victoria's splinters struggle to rebuild. Portia Nur makes her move for Praetoria's secrets. Shapeshifters summoned from the plane of chaos feast on flesh and memories, while the mages of the Conclave Arcana scour the 7 territories. Few will stand against them, but it won't be enough. That's where you come in. You and your cards. Like all new archons that grant you dominion over bloodlines. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, orcs, and Lund. Craft midnight potions in the Artisan Quarter for a shot at new ultra-rare foils. Flex your collection in battle and earn bigger rewards. The Conclave Arcana awaits. Do you have what it takes?
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Splinterlands Town Hall. It is November 20th, Thursday evening for those of you, at least in the Eastern US. Morning for our special guest, Cryptomancer, who you can hopefully see there on the screen, who's joining us today for a super exciting land update. We got since the last town hall, we have a bunch of things that were released. I'm sure all of you know what those are, but I'm going to recap them anyway in case you missed anything. We had the new reward card set that was released. We had the Dragon's Feast event that went out with new skins. In addition to the Halloween skins that we had done just about the time of the last town hall, there's new jackpot cards for all the loot chests, the reward chests. The next conflict card, the second legendary summoner, Captain Frankie, was announced. And hopefully, most of you are paying attention to the really exciting Splinterlands Grand Prix that's going on, that was kind of organized and created by our own Bulldog. Um, and Blaze has also been championing that internally. That's been a fun thing. I've been backing, MTG Jedi personally, but I've also sent assets to the other guys just to not play favorites. But it's I've been watching the streams a lot more than I normally do, getting involved. It's pretty cool. I saw Bulldog, I think, posted something about thinking about the next one already. So it'd be cool if this is kind of an ongoing thing where we get new streamers, new people in here promoting the game. And hopefully we can keep increasing the prize pools, maybe add some prizes or benefits for the players that kind of participate by backing a team and watching streams and all that stuff. So that's been really fun. And then we have a bunch of exciting things upcoming. A few things before the end of the year. Some things that are going to be early next year. No surprise, we have Cryptomancer here to talk about the land cards update, which was recently published on our blog. A bunch more details. He's going to be showing a lot more about that. That should definitely be out in December. We have the player avatars project, which we've been talking about and talking about and talking about. We are also shooting to have that out in December before the end of the year. I think Nate is going to show some stuff from that on the creative update. And then looking at Q1 of next year, we know we have the survival mode update from the proposal that passed not too long ago that we're going to be working on. The next big project after player avatars is going to be a guild overhaul, which we've talked about many times. Cryptomancer, as soon as he's done with the land cards project, is going to be jumping into the next phase of land, which is I've talked about before, is going to be getting into the land 2.0 and all the stuff in the white paper. And last but not least, there is the new mini set coming up. I think Nate might also have some things to show about that. We are a little bit behind schedule on the mini set. I know in the proposal we said we were shooting to get that out by the end of the year. It looks like at this point, just based on everything going on, that might not happen. So we expect it to be out as quickly as possible in 2026. But it's coming along very well. I think most of the cards, the initial stats are done. Most of the card art is created, as Nate will show. It's, starting our internal testing processes for balance and all that stuff, which is, for anyone in the community who's been involved in that process in the past, that is not a quick and easy thing. But it is well underway. So that's a high level kind of what we have going on over the rest of the year and into next year. So without further ado, I am going to turn it right over to Cryptomancer to tell us what he's been working on these past few months.
Hello, everyone. So it's a pretty exciting time. I'm the dev in charge of the Land Cards project, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. You might say that I have been quite a busy beaver over the last several months working on this project. It's been a long time in the making. I think the very first lines of code were written back in July, and now I'm very pleased to tell you that we are rapidly approaching the finish line. So I think this project is very exciting for a few reasons. Number one, the land cards are an entirely new type of beast. It's a card that you can't play in ranked battles, but instead you put it on your land plots, and it has various abilities that give interesting bonuses and benefits to your plots. So it's a very different type of card that we've done before, and I like how we're extending the gameplay in new directions by doing brand new things with cards that we haven't attempted before. And secondly, there's a new burn mechanic involved. So in order to craft these cards, you're going to have to burn some of your old cards to get cinder, and then cinder is used as a crafting ingredient for the land cards. So I always get really excited by burn mechanics. I know we have a huge pile of Chaos Legion cards that are still out there and lots of unopened packs. So maybe this will put a bit of a dent in that card supply. Whenever things get burned, it's like taking a box of Pokemon cards or old Magic the Gathering cards out of your closet and giving those old cards that have been sitting around gathering dust some new purpose, breathing new life into them. It's the grand cycle of life and death. Kill those old cards and they get reborn again as land cards. So that's exciting. And third, this is the very first entire new set of cards that is where the distribution is going to be entirely in the player's control. So Splinterlands is not selling these cards. The players craft them. The only way to get these cards is going to be by either crafting them or buying them off the market from someone else who crafted them. So that puts the entire distribution of the set in your control. And that's really exciting to see as well. So we have lots of really cool concepts coming together here in this project. Now, just during this past week, we put out an official announcement post that has all the details. And I'm sure all of you have read through that all. And so I'm not going to rehash every single point in those announcement posts. But I'm sure after reading it, you've probably got some burning questions that you'd like answered. Namely, when am I going to be able to craft these things? How can I craft these things? And what are they? What are the cards? What are their names? What do they look like? Well, I'm here today to kind of pull back the curtain on those questions. And we're going to start with what? What are the cards? What do they look like? So it's time for the grand reveal. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the first card. Now there are 4 cards in the land set. There's one of each rarity, a common, a rare, an epic, and a legendary. So let's start with the common card. Here it is. So I give you the Tireless Farmhand. This is a common water card, and she's a real bread and butter land worker. She's going to be a fun one to have on your plots because she has the Bountiful Grain ability, which means she's going to give a really nice boost to your grain production. This is a picture of a max level card there. So at max level, she's going to give 60% bonus to grain production. And she's tireless. She has a lot of energy. So she grants the energized ability to your plots, meaning that she replaces the need for a power core. And she works so hard that She reduces the amount of grain that your workers need to consume. She's got the rationing ability, which reduces grain consumption by 30% at max level. And she also gives you a dark discount. So that means that you'll need to stake 50% less DEC on plots that have this card. And of course, every max level land card has the Labor's Luck ability. So even though this is a common card, this is still going to be a really awesome card to use. And let me drop in the full stats so you can see there. So here we have the full stats for Tireless Farmhand. So even at level 1, she's starting to provide a bit of a bonus to your grain. And then Energized and Rationing kick in at higher levels. And then the abilities gradually become stronger and stronger as the card levels up. So at level 1, Bountiful Grain starts at just a small bonus, a 1% bonus. And then it gradually increases level by level until you get up to a 60% bonus at level 10. So this is also the first time we've seen abilities on cards that become stronger as the card levels up. Not only does the card gain new abilities, the abilities also gain in strength. So that's the first one. Now, moving along, the rare card. Let's do the rare one next. So I'll drop this in. The rare land card is an earth card, the Kinbound Druid. So this guy, he's an elf, and he uses his elf magic to cause trees to grow really fast. So he can just blast that magic out, and boom, instantly you've got a forest of trees that are all ready to cut down. So he provides the Bountiful Wood ability. At max level, that gives you a 70% boost to your wood production. And like the Tireless Farmhand, he's also got Energized and Dark Discount. And he has an ability called Toil and Kin. So not only does he make trees grow fast and provide a wood bonus, but he also motivates his fellow elves. And they all work together to enhance the power of the magic. And so if you use another elf card as a land worker, you're going to get that Toil and Kin bonus. And Toil and Kin stacks on top of Bountiful Wood. So if you have elves working on your plots and you've got a max level Kinbound Druid, that Bountiful Wood gives you plus 70%. Toil and Kin gives you another 30%. So that's a whopping 100% production boost you're looking at there. So he's going to be really fun. Let me drop in the full stats. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the full stats for the Kinbound Druid. So he starts off with Dark Discount and Toil and Kin at level 1. And then at level 2, Bountiful Wood and Energized gets added. And then the abilities gradually increase in power as you level up until you reach max level. And then at max level, you get the Labor's Luck added. I see in chat, Mr. Dragon is asking, do the really old cards have race? Yes, they do. So every card from all the previous sets, they all have bloodlines. So you can go back and look at those cards, hover over the name, and you can see what bloodline they are. So there's the Kinbound Druid. Moving on to the Epic card. Drum roll, please. Here he comes. We have the Toiling Ox, a mundane beast, a life card for the Epic Land card. And the Toiling Ox is very versatile. He's a pretty strong card there. He gets a couple abilities. So he provides Bountiful Grain, and he provides Bountiful Stone at max level. So you can use him to either give you a grain production boost, or you can get a stone production boost. He's a strong ox, so he's good at pulling the plows and cutting down all the grain, and he's also good at hauling that stone around. So let me put in the full stats for him. So here's the full stats for the Toiling Ox. So at level 1, he gets a dark discount in Bountiful Grain and Toil and Kin. So he's a mundane beast, and he sets a good example for all the other animals. The other animals see him working, and they want to work hard too. So he gives a production bonus for any other mundane beasts that you have working on his plot. Yeah, put that meat to good use there. So for the first few levels, he has the same abilities, and the levels just grow stronger as he levels up. And then the Bountiful Stone comes in at level 5. So level 5 is where you're going to be able to choose whether you want to get that bonus for stone production or for grain production. And then at max level, he gets Labor's Luck like the other cards. So there you have it, Toiling Ox. And now, last but not least, we have the Land Legendary card, which is a death card, my favorite element. I've always loved death. So we have the legendary death card, Undying Miner. I really love this card. I think this is my personal favorite of the land set, because this is just something that speaks to me at a raw, primal level about being a necromancer and raising armies of undying miners to go mine for my stuff. Because I don't want to risk using my real people, the population of my empire. I don't want to risk them in the mines. I just want to raise these lifeless, undying miners and send them in there instead. They'll be the canary in the coal mine. So this card is really awesome even at level 1. The Undying Miner at max level, he gives a 100% bonus to iron production. So that's huge. And he also has Bountiful Aura for a 100% bonus to aura production. So you can choose if you want him to be getting that aura or hauling out that iron. And he has a huge minus 99% reduction for dark discount. So that means plots with an Undying Miner will require almost no DEC staked. And because he's undead, his spiritual energy also affects other undead cards and boosts their production. So he has the Toil and Kin ability for undead. So if you got other undead workers on your plot, you're going to get that nice additional bonus. So let me drop in the full stat. There we go. All right. So even at level 1, this card is quite strong with a 25% Bountiful Iron bonus, 70% dark discount reduction starting out, and a 15% Toil and Kin at level 1. And those abilities just get stronger as he levels up. Bountiful Aura comes in at level 3, and as with the other cards, you get Labor's Luck at max level. So there you have it. There is the entire land card set. Now, that answers one of our key questions. What are the land cards? Another key question I'm sure everybody has is, how do you craft these things? So let's look at that next, and let's talk about allocation rights. So I'm going to drop another graphic into the channel here. All right. So what we're looking at here is a new tab on the Artisan Quarter screen. So you've all have allocation rights now, or at least landowners have allocation rights. We did the snapshot this week, and allocation rights are distributed. If you go look at your item inventory, you can see how many you've got there. And the important thing to realize about allocation rights is that they guarantee you that you will be able to craft up to a certain amount of cards within the first 3 days of the land cards being released. Allocation rights are not an airdrop, so you're not just going to magically get that number of cards airdropped to your account. You still have to actually craft these things yourself. The allocation rights just represent the maximum number of cards that you will be able to craft in the first 3 days. And we chose to do it this way, basically to be fair about how the distribution works. So the land card set is a very limited set. There's only 4 cards, and the maximum supply numbers are relatively small compared to the other major card sets. And we didn't want whales to be able to go in there and just craft everything themselves and not have the smaller landowners be able to get anything. So allocation rights ensure that it's very fair by guaranteeing that you can craft your fair share of things. So on day 1, when the land cards launch, to use your allocation rights, you'll go to your Artisan Quarter screen and click on this new Cards tab, and that's going to show the card forge that you're looking at here. And you craft the cards very similarly to how you craft other items. So things like, you know how you craft midnight potions and unbinding scrolls and wagon kits. It's very similar to that process. But you can see there's some additional information showing on the screen here. So towards the top, we have the allocation rights period, and that's a timer that counts down towards 0. So you have 3 days to use your allocation rights, and that's what this timer is showing. During this time period, in order to craft a card, you have to use 1 allocation right of the appropriate rarity per card that gets crafted. And you can see that down at the bottom. If you look at the crafting ingredients there, you can see allocation rights rare. It costs 1 of those to craft this kinbound druid. In addition to the other ingredients, which for this card are cinder and some wood. So after that 3-day period is over, meaning after the timer you see here reaches 0, then allocation rights will go away. At that point, anybody can come in and craft whatever land cards remain. So you don't even need to own land plots. As long as you have the resources, like maybe you want to just go into the trade hub, swap some DEC to get the resources, and then craft the cards without even owning any land plots. You can do that. Anybody can craft these cards after the allocation rights period expires. And now I hear everybody saying, oh no, panic. What if I didn't get enough allocation rights to craft? So I would say to those people, don't panic. Stay calm. It's going to be okay. So because of the way allocation rights were distributed, any fractional amounts that you would have received were rounded down, because it doesn't make sense to have a fractional allocation right. You either have to have one or you don't have one. So all of those little fractional bits that were not allocated, they kind of added up. So we still have a lot of cards that were left unallocated. The allocation rights don't fully cover the entire card supply. So that guarantees that when this allocation rights period expires in 3 days, there's still going to be plenty of cards left over to craft. I think almost a third of the entire legendary card supply, for example, is unallocated because of the way it worked out. And there's something like more than 1,000 common cards that didn't get allocated. So there's still plenty of cards left over. Plus, I don't expect that everybody who has allocation rights is going to actually use all of their allocation rights. Like, some people might not be interested in crafting the land cards. Some people might not have all the resources that it would take to fully use the allocation rights, especially for the epic and legendary cards, which require aura to be crafted. It's highly likely that you might not have enough aura to fully use the allocation rights. So there's still going to be plenty of cards left over for people to craft. So if you didn't get enough allocation rights and you still want to craft more, I think you will be able to do so. You will have some time to do that. So don't worry, stay calm. I think it's going to go very smoothly overall. So below that allocation rights period timer, there's a couple other numbers. You select the card that you want from the drop down. In this case, I'm crafting the Kinbound Druid. And you see a max supply number. So that says 18,000. That means that there can only ever be a maximum of 18,000 regular foil Kinbound Druids. And that's an important thing to realize about this max supply number. It applies to regular foil cards. It does not include a gold foil arcane, black foil, or black foil arcane. The various foils can only be discovered by using the Labor's Luck ability. Those foils cannot be crafted. So the cards that you craft are the regular foils. And the regular foils, that's what the max supply number is referring to. Remaining supply, the number below that, shows how many cards are left that have not been crafted yet. So this is how many remain to be crafted. So as people craft cards and use their allocation rights, you're going to see the remaining supply number drop. Once that gets to 0, that means that there are no cards remaining in the supply, and that's it. You can't craft any more at that point. All the cards will then be in circulation. So as the crafting period goes on, you want to keep an eye on that number so you can judge roughly how much time is left. And like I said, they're not all going to be crafted in the initial 3-day allocation rights period. I expect that there will still be plenty of time after that as people look to build up their resources and maybe get some more aura for those epic and legendary cards. So keep an eye on the remaining supply number. And then to the left, you see the picture of the card itself, and those numbers below the card are level indicators. So this is a level select. You can click on those numbers and you can see what the abilities are at different card levels. So in this screenshot, I've clicked on the 8, so we're looking at the abilities that a max level card has. So I think this is a really nice convenience feature. You can only craft one CC of a card at a time. You can't instantly craft a max level card. You have to combine the cards after you craft them. But this level indicator is just a convenience thing that shows you what the cards look like at each level. So you don't have to look at the announcement post. You don't have to navigate to any other screens or flip back and forth. It helps you make kind of an informed decision about what to craft without having to go to any other screens. All the information you need is right here before you. So that's really nice. So you just put in however many cards you want to craft in the quantity box and hit the craft cards button. You can also hit the max button, and it works just like it does on the regular crafting tab. So hit max, and it'll show you how many cards that you can craft using the maximum of what resources you have available. So that's it in a nutshell. It's really simple and sweet. On launch day, you just go to your artisan quarter, you type in your quantity, you hit craft. It's that simple. So the third question that I think is on people's minds is when? When are we going to be able to do this? And the answer to that is soon. So we actually do have a specific release date in mind that we've been targeting internally. And we're in the QA testing process right now, working towards that release date. I don't want to actually say what the specific date is just yet, because I don't want to jinx it. We need to make sure that QA actually passes and that there are no major problems discovered last minute. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything goes well. Assuming that QA passes and things continue to go smoothly over the next several days, I'm pretty confident for a release sometime in the first half of December. So that's what you can expect. And of course, as soon as we do have the green light, once QA passes and we've made an actual final go or no-go decision, then we'll share the date as soon as we can. So we will give you some heads up in advance. I'm hoping that we can give that final date sometime next week before the US Thanksgiving holiday. So we'll see how QA testing goes over the next several days. Keep an eye on the announcements channel in Discord, because that's where we'll put the date once we have it. So you'll have some heads up, and you have that whole 3-day initial allocation rights period. So I think there will be plenty of time to be able to craft the cards that you want. but you should be preparing your resources now. So you should be looking at your card collection and thinking, what can I burn for Cinder? Maybe you want to open some packs. Maybe you're hoarding a bunch of Chaos Legion packs, so you could open those and burn some of those cards. You can also burn Soul Keep cards for Cinder. Anything that can be burned for DEC can also be burned for Cinder. So be thinking about that. And check your land resources. Check how many allocation rights you have. Look at your player inventory screen. So you can be getting ready for it now to make sure you're prepared. But there's absolutely no need to rush on launch day. You've got 3 entire days to use those allocation rights. So I think everybody will be able to craft what they want. And there's one more thing that I want to finish with here. So in the announcement post that went out this week, everything in that post is mostly the same as the original announcement post that we did earlier this month. All of the numbers are the same and whatnot. But there is a bit of added information about Labor's Luck. So I want to make sure you guys actually saw that bit. For Labor's Luck, when we released the land cards, initially for the first week or so after release, Labor's Luck is going to not be activated yet. So I won't do anything for the first week or so. And the intent there is we want to see how many of these max level cards get crafted and how much base PP is running on the plots where people put these things. That will help us make an informed decision about what to set the percent chances of getting a card when Labor's Luck triggers. So we have 806 foil cards in the Labor's Luck bucket. That's all the gold foils, gold foil arcanes, black foils, and black foil arcanes. And we want it to take about a year for everybody to discover those cards through harvesting plots and using the ability. So we need to kind of tune it a little bit and set the percent chances of getting a card so that it lasts for a whole year. I mean, that means we need to set it in such a way so that if there's 806 cards stretched out over a whole year, people should be discovering on average about 2.2 of those cards every day. So by seeing how it goes over the first week, we can kind of dial in on those numbers and see what we need to set the percent chance at. And then once we do set it, we're going to adjust it every now and then. So maybe like every month or so, we'll kind of see how it's going and we'll see the rate that these cards are being discovered, and we might tweak it so that ultimately we end up staying on course for all of them to be discovered within a year. So that's how that's going to work. So I think that's pretty much that. Yes, Mr. Dragon, I did just say that you can burn Soul Keep cards for Cinder. Yes, indeed. So if you don't care about Soul Keep anymore, burn all your cards. Yes, you can. So yeah, that's it. I think it's going to be really exciting to see this launch, and I'm confident in that the QA process is going smoothly. Any remaining questions? Let's hold it until the Q&A section of the town hall, and I'll be happy to answer questions then when we get to that part. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Matt.
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, yeah, just, even I've been involved obviously in the whole process, but I still love looking at the stuff you're sharing. Shout out to the creative team, especially the new card frames look awesome. So just it looks really great, and I got a bunch of allocations that I'm gonna get ready to mint when they come out. All right. So next, we want to jump over to Investigator for our development update. Above and beyond the stuff we already just talked about. How's everything going, Investi?
Well, good morning or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're on. It's going okay, and trying to think of things to talk about that aren't the major projects that were covered at the top. So we should hopefully be introducing Apple sign-on for iOS devices in the next update or two, which seems to be the major demand that Apple has been making to let us update the app. So we're going to submit it again and see if they approve, or if they come back with something else they want, which has been fairly involved to get that to work. So something that I don't think was mentioned is that the current conflict is going to end in another day and a half or so. So everybody will get their Loving the Moo card that has Wagon State. And then we'll be rolling over to the conflict for Captain Frankie. So those are the bigger items. We hopefully will have a lot of big updates in the next couple of weeks. For anyone that has been running into issues playing with Firefox, there was an update to version 145 that basically broke playing our game and a bunch of other stuff that was using the same packages to render their images. There is now a 145.01 that you may need to go tell it to manually update to, but that should fix playing the game. For the short term, there's not a lot else that's coming out. We are going to be adding a mint history for the new jackpot cards, which was something we missed when we added them last week. So you'll be able to see who won the black foil or arcane cards. We're going to be updating the crypto recovery fund page in the next update to add the large number of new games that were voted in on the November proposal, now that that has passed. And beyond that, mainly working on the various big projects. There's not a lot of bandwidth outside of trying to get the avatar, land cards, mini set, and redacted other projects that we won't mention until a later date that are under the works. So hopefully we will have all of the talked about big projects ready to go out by mid-December, because the staff does not want to work over Christmas. So we're hoping to get everything done in the next few weeks that you've heard about on the last couple town halls. And
yeah, it's awesome. Thank you for for doing all that. And Gator's the guy kind of in charge of all that stuff happening, making sure all the stuff that all the developers are doing gets done in the right way, gets released properly, all that stuff. So that's a tall task, and you do a lot of the work yourself. On top of that.
We have a lot of very talented developers who are due credit for getting all this stuff out. I know Mansour comes on, but most of the rest of them tend not to come on town halls. One other thing that I remembered after I said that, we also should be updating the SPS distribution in the next couple updates per the past proposal. I know that passed a little while ago, but it was fairly involved to rework all the distributions. There should also be an update to the validator that goes along with that, which Slapshot has been doing. So that should be coming out soon. I know we're a bit behind on proposals, but they were large amounts of work for some of them. Survival rework should be hopefully starting up soon as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you say we have a lot of talented developers, I think all of our developers are very talented, but we don't actually have a lot of them.
We don't actually have a lot of them. We've got maybe 5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems from all this stuff that we have this huge team of people working on all this, but it's actually quite a small team, and we do a lot, or you guys really do a lot. So I want to point that out. We have a small team of very talented people that do all this stuff. And we just look at the release notes every week. It's a lot, and this is all, happening. All the lists of little changes happen along with the big projects that we've been talking about. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of clarify that point for everybody.
True.
Um,
And as a final point, since I keep trying to do this at the end, I also want to thank our support team who are very active with helping the community, especially Lily Fire in the UX channel and Discord, who does a lot of taking people's feedback and getting it over to the team.
Yeah, I mean, the support team I feel like is the glue for this entire project in a way. Art team and creative works on their stuff. The developers work on all their stuff. Um, me and Dave and Blaze do our things, and then the support team's just in the middle of everything, right? They interface with the players, they deal with the issues, they bring up the stuff that we need to fix or change or do. They do most of the QA testing and all of it. Like, yeah, obviously led by Royal and Lily. Just kind of
Card
make
testing.
what's that?
Card testing as well. They do
Yeah.
a lot. They handle all the card testing, not only internally, but they also interface with the external testers as well. So amazing.
Yeah, so they kind of make all the pieces work together well. So that was a good shout out. I appreciate that. So at this point, next I think we typically go over to Blaze and Dave if he wants to jump in here for our marketing and promotional efforts, which have been on fire. I feel like in the past month.
Yeah, no, hey, glad to be here. I don't think there's one employee here that has just one hat, right? Every meeting we go to, we're switching hats, right? If somebody needs to test, they're going into testing. If somebody needs to help whip something up for if creative's backed up, then somebody gets an image out, whatever it takes. Everybody's willing to go beyond their role and expand out and help wherever they can. So not just the team, but the community as well, right? Our community's just been on fire lately. I don't know about you guys. I just hit 5 years of playing Splinterlands, and this by far is the most entertaining time that I've been here, and just enjoyed the game truly, like from the entertainment, not thinking tokenomics, not thinking anything, just enjoying the game purely, collectability, chatting in the DMs, like making trades. It's just so entertaining right now. We have so much going on, and it doesn't stop. It's list after list of stuff to do. Harry and the team just keep pumping it out. Whatever Dave throws at them, they don't. They always find a way to make it work. So very entertained. I'm really enjoying the direction we're going, and the new faces that are coming in and the collectors. It's really good stuff happening. In regards to the numbers for the past month, we have daily average users at 4,750. New signups last 30 days, 3,781, averaging 126 accounts per day. Spellbooks, 114 sold. And then I have some screenshots here for you guys. I'll post it here in the town hall chat. There's the season unique players over the last 30, or for season 171. And then let me grab some other charts here for you. And here we have the onboarding process. So this is what we're looking at. This is where we meet and just, figure out what we can do to improve the campaign mode to get the new users through quicker. As you can see, there's a big drop off towards the end. So we have a lot of work to do there, but at least we have the tools in place to start measuring. So yeah, a lot of work to be done, but it's good to have the visuals in front of us. Conclave Arcana, we're at 3.67 million in sales since our launch. So not bad, but we can do better. Looking forward to getting these new players on board and having them do some holiday shopping. Secondary market sales, despite the volatility in crypto, like our secondary market sales have been really good. And I think we can credit our rewards cards from coming in. A lot of gold foils are being scooped up, black foils, so on. So that's been very entertaining. It's sitting around 185,000 for the last 30 days on the secondary market. So not bad at all. The Gotham voucher card. What a hit, huh? We have 1.8 million vouchers burned so far. So very popular card on demand. If you don't have the card maxed out, get it at least to level 2. I believe that's when you get flank. So again, it's a must-have card. It's years of entertainment. So if you don't have one, go search the secondary market. If not, if it's a better deal, then burn in the vouchers. But if not, go get them on the voucher shop to see if you can land that black foil too. Has it been pulled yet? Does anybody know? I don't think it has.
Last time I checked, the only black foil was the one that was auctioned off. No one had gotten one from the voucher shop yet.
Okay, well, it's going to be somebody soon. So let's see who can land that one. All right. What else do we have going on here? The Clink partnership. Our partnership with Clink launched on November 3rd. It's progressing well. They're kind of doing a soft rollout, but we're averaging about 38 users per day with them since launch, totaling 681 signups. So we're meeting them with next week to discuss the next steps and ways we can amplify our reach there. So progress. Hollow's Fall recap. That was very entertaining. The graphics were amazing. Our creative team knocked it out of the park. Blood Moon. We all love that modifier. I can't wait for it to come back. That was really cool getting Bloodlust to all cards. It was just really, really entertaining on the battlefield. 36 million glint was spent on the reward shop alone. Yaba's Pickle was the most popular skin. So Matt, your pickle's very popular in Pretoria.
Yay.
All right. The ultimate chests, I think they broke records too. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was a record-breaking numbers with the ultimate chests being open to chase those rare skins. So really, really fun. Now we're on to Dragon's Feast. So here we are. Again, beautiful. I had a lot of new players comment on the look and feel of our game, and they were talking about the battlefield with the little bushes moving and everything. So really cool, really cool. The skins, the skins that were in the ultimate chests have already been looted, so there's no more available there. The remaining skins, you'll have to head over to the reward shop. So be sure to pick yours up before November 30th. If you don't have them already, really cool skins. I think Clay got I don't know what you call it. I don't know if you had the individual names. I think it was just 1, 2, and 3, but he got the blue one of Gotham, and I really want that one. So
I'll either have to fight him for it.
Yeah.
Fight.
Okay. I'll make it happen on the battlefield. Let's see. Yeah. Crypto Gaming Recovery Fund. I'll get with Clay. We'll set something up to discuss all the new updates, but I think the proposal just passed with a ton of games, and that's what Harry was talking about, getting them added. Failed Web3 projects that we're going to help bring in if they want to come in. And then also we've been running press releases, and just recently had Rising Star join us. And they are an NFT-based music career sim built on Hive. So I'll get with Clay to see what we can do to cook up a report. Because also, I think we need to get a version 2.0 of the website. We just threw something together real quick with Harry's web development skills there. Thanks, Harry, for getting that up. But I know we want to do all kinds of stuff with like a new background showing the sponsors and such. So what else? We got a long list. There's a lot going on over here, boys and girls. We launched a new stream, Painforge. Let's see, that's going to be that's hosted by myself and Mr. B Jangles. and occasionally with special guests. Last week we had Bulldog on to discuss the Splinterlands Grand Prix. That was fun. And also Lilyfire and I are discussing launching one for new players. So something new player driven, just with the basics on where to find manuals or how to get started. So looking forward to further discussing that and getting that rolling soon, because that's much needed. Twitch drops really well. Over 6,500 hours watched so far, with a big range of streamers. A huge shout out to Our Faded Glory, McVeer, Aftersound, Tales, and many others that are starting to stream, including the Grand Prix players. That was a pretty cool stream today by our MTG Jedi. So really, really good. And I'll get to that next. Yeah, Splinterlands Grand Prix. What a start, huh? Really, really, really cool. Thanks, Bulldog, for getting these players to come and play Splinterlands. And it's been fun getting all the videos and everything put together and working with them directly to get them started, and then seeing the community come to life and get behind each team. So if anybody's not aware, there's 5 players. They've never played Splinterlands before, and they're going to go through one complete season, which started at the beginning of this season. And it's Team Jombre, Team D Money, Team MTG Jedi, Team Baby Bear, and Team Updog. They're all strong TCG players, and with the coaching support from their team members now. So Tails is backing D Money. They've already done 2 Twitch streams, I believe, and they're doing very well. They're picking up quick. MTG Jedi, he has a very busy life, and we've had one good call, and everything else he's picked up with the help of the community and just going through things. So it's fun to watch them learn so fast on how to play. So, and again, thanks for the community to go in there to the chat and help. I know a lot of them were coaching them through the live call, and yeah, it was good stuff. So the goal there with the event is the team that ends with the highest rating at the end of the season wins. And there's a prize structure. I think first place is 500. We'll get that posted. And then, yeah, the team backing them. Thanks to everybody who's contributed at SBS, delegated cards, and so on. And also a huge shout out to Beaker for putting the Splinterlands-grand-prix.com together for us, where we can all track the standings of who's winning. So thank you, Beaker. And lastly, let me get a drink of water for this one. This is a big one.
Oh.
The suspense is killing me.
You ready?
It requires hydration just to even talk about it.
All right. So we have something new and exciting coming very soon. I'll leave most of it for Nate, but the idea was sparked by the community in our Discord, along with the help of some team members, Dave and Clay and everybody else who flared up the meetings. We've had quite a few meetings on this, but we have a new card coming that the players will be able to earn. And so it's tied in with the weekly entries for the ranked fortune draws. And her name is Luckiest Longshot. All right. So how it works is you get through the week of gaming, and if you don't get anything in the weekly draw, then if you get nothing in the weekly draws, then you get the points, the lucky point. Okay, I'm sorry. If you win a weekly draw, none of your tickets will go towards the lucky coins, which we're going to be having. And if a player does not win, all of their entries become lucky coins. So 500 lucky coins turn in equals 1 card. Nate has the eye candy that he's going to show off. Dave, any details you want to add, please add. But that's what I got.
Yeah. One, that's, you definitely needed to drink in between all those updates. My goodness. Well, before we go into the luckiest long shot card, one thing I want to say briefly about the community. I mean, big shout out to, Bulldog on this particular, Grand Prix event. He was the one that came up with the idea. He worked with Blaze, put it together, spent a lot of time And as he said, he did it because he loves Splinterlands. So that's huge. And then we not just have that, but we have Beaker that, like, the minute he found out, we needed help, he set it up. And then on top of that, we have guys like Tails running Twitch. We have, shit. Now I can't think of who else. Tails running Twitch. Somebody else, DJ's doing Telegram. Who else plays? We have somebody else doing something.
Yeah, don't even mention Brave Tofu. I mean, that guy. How about the videos, huh?
Yeah, and Affliction doing the videos. I mean, we have a lot of people in the community doing a lot of things, and that doesn't even count card testing, which takes up a lot of time. I mean, the reason why the Conclave Arcana set is so good is because people spend a lot of time giving a lot of feedback, outside of our team. They're not getting paid. They're doing it because they love Splinterlands. So, a big shout out to the community. We wouldn't be able to do as many things as we do without you. Clay goes into that category as well. Even though Clay works for the DAO, he donates his time and his energy to help us test cards, to throw out ideas. So things like Luckiest Long Shot is coming. Nate will preview it here in a second. But the idea behind it is, people, they earn these points, right? And they have these raffles. And if they win a card, they're going to get either a black foil or a black foil arcane or a gold foil arcane, right? So that's pretty cool, right? So if you win, you're like super happy. Then you had guys that, they would have, 20 chances and lose, or 200 chances and lose, or 2,000 chances and lose. And they were like, is there anything you could do? So they came up with the idea and said, I'm just unlucky. And then we came up with, it was discussed, and Clay really kind of spearheaded it and said that we wanted to have a card that you could win when you lost. So if you didn't get the really cool, black foil, gold foil, or gold foil arcane, or black foil arcane, at a certain, certain number of losses would get you this special card. So it's going to go, and it's going to be retroactive. So even if you've lost in the past, as long as you bought the pass to be able to play it and you didn't win something, all those are going to count. Every 500 draw, every 500 that don't win, you're going to get a coin, or everyone you don't win on, you're going to get a coin. Every 500 coins, you're going to get one of the cards. In addition to that, you're also going to have a leaderboard, and the people that lose the most are actually going to get the most second chances at getting a card. So if you have a whole bunch of entries and you have a lot of these draws, and you're not really the luckiest guy in the world and you don't get them, maybe you're going to get lucky here. And all the gold foils, all the black foils, all the black foil arcanes, and the gold foil arcanes, all of them are going to be in a big bucket with one last massive, raffle in the 53rd week. So after everything's done, all those like special cards will be given out, and it will be based on, what place you finish. So, so even if you lose and you get a lot of entry tickets, it's not going to waste. You're still going to get a second chance of getting, really cool collectible card. So that's about it. I got Blair. As far as one thing I would say before I turn it back over to Matt, what you were talking about in terms of Gator and his team delivering a lot. I mean, they definitely do. And it's just amazing to see all the different products. I saw somebody in Discord the other day talking, I think it was actually yesterday, might have been today. All the days kind of blur together after a while. But they were talking about, like, you guys are coming out with stuff too fast, right? Like, I can't believe how fast I can't keep up. I can't get everything. And, I remember not that long ago that people would complain like, oh, everything's so slow. Well, now, we're putting out a lot of stuff, and the goal is to continue to put out a lot of stuff because we got a hell of a game, and it's time to leverage, all the things we can do. So I think you're starting to see a lot of that, and you're going to continue, especially, in the recent past, you've seen a lot, and you're going to see a lot more in the recent future. So I'll leave it there, Matt.
Yeah, last thing on the Grand Prix, like, it's generating a lot of conversations, right? Our DMs are loaded with people that want to play Splinterlands. A lot of content creators are coming over and say, what's this event? So, and it's all thanks to the community. Every time a content creator posts something on X about Splinterlands, our community jumps in to help in any way they can. I know like DJ and some others have like, when we do a stream, I think we did Pain Forge the other day, and new players came in and caught the stream on X, and DJ just takes him under his wing and says, hey, whatever you need, this is a fun game. This is where our community is. And you guys are all just very welcoming. So the new players really enjoy that. And thank you for your time and efforts. It's coming together, and it's showing that we're here, we're genuine gamers that love this game. And we just want more people to come in and experience what we are experiencing. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, the Grand Prix has been fun, I gotta say. I've been having a good time with it. And boy, we're already an hour into this, and we haven't even gotten to Nate yet. Nate's got some things to show us, I think. And before you get into it, Nate, we've been talking about this Avatar project a lot. Nate's going to show some stuff, hopefully, for that. You guys have seen some things in the past town halls, but this is one of the things that I think was very much missing from the game, and this was an opportunity to add it in. You get all kinds of cards, and there was lands, and all the millions of things we've been talking about on these calls, but there was no way to show you, the player to represent in the game, really. And it was kind of like to me, it was a problem when you would see, you see lists of players and leaderboards, or when you're matched up with someone or whatever. And, you could be going against some like, new player that just came in, or you could be going against like, Vugtis or Brave Tofu or whoever it is. And they kind of look the same, right? You can't tell, like, if you don't know who someone is or what they have or how long they've been here. There was no way to tell, and that's something I felt like was missing. And we need a way for the people who have been like the biggest, longest supporters of this game, who have put a lot of money and time into the project, to be able to show off, beyond just having gold or black foil cards in the battles now. So that's like a lot of what's behind this Avatar project. So everyone's going to be able to kind of make their own custom avatar with all different sorts of options. We showed a few town halls back, I think, some of the ones that the team members were playing around with. There's going to be even more options than that when it gets initially released. But then there's going to be all sorts of premium things that you're going to be able to get, as you participate in the game, or for people who have participated a bunch up until now. So the goal is that when you get matched up with someone, or you see someone's avatar somewhere, you just be like, holy cow, like, where did they get all that cool stuff? Like, mine doesn't look nearly as cool as that. So like, at a glance, you quickly tell that they've earned all sorts of really cool stuff in this game over the years. And so that's a lot of the motivation behind this project. It's going, a lot of it is going to be very, very glint heavy. So I know we've been doing a lot of stuff recently that has been taking glint. In fact, the overall glint balance in the system has gone down by over 1 billion glint since the new reward card set has been released, and that's including all the new glint that's been earned over that time. So it's been well more than 1 billion glint that's been spent. And it's kind of just getting started, because this project is going to be very glint focused, and that's on purpose. Then we want glint to be a very scarce and valuable asset, and then that will also allow us the opportunity to add new things that players can get or do in order to increase their glint earnings if they want to get even more of this stuff. So that's my little spiel on that, and now I'm going to turn it over to you, Nate.
All right. Well, geez, it's you know what? I need to hydrate like Blaze did, just because there's so much cool stuff.
You're
But
the
I'm-
weather girl now, Nate.
Oh, don't start. Yeah, that was a little joke before we got on the town hall that I looked. Now I look like, based on Ron's presentation, how he has me, I look like I'm, Hurricane Dave is on the way. So yeah, before I jump in, I ride the coattails of everybody else and what they had to share. Dave was poking me a little bit ago about loving the Moo, and for those of you who haven't seen that in the game yet, because I mean the card hasn't officially dropped, but you'll notice that we did redo the art. We heard through the grapevine that loving the Moo, one of the top 6 winners on the leaderboard for Conclave, won the design rights, and it was like, it's okay, but okay is not good enough. It's just not good enough. We wanted him to be ecstatic about it, and thank goodness that he collaborated once more, because I think the final outcome of that turned out really well. So for those of you who have not seen the new redesign, so here I'll drop the black foil there, and if you want to celebrate it as much as we are, then here's a little Loving the Moo wallpaper for you. But yeah, it came out great. So thanks for all of those who involved in getting word to us that, hey, let's work on a redesign. And thank you, Loving the Moo, for giving it another go with us. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for, I think, Hera, you said in the next day and a half, where we're gonna finally get to play with the card. So I'm pretty excited. Have all your elementals and your dog people ready to go, because we're gonna add poison to their lineups and see what they can do. What should I talk about next? Let's talk about what Blaze and Dave were talking about. So that would be the new Lucky that we're kind of injecting into the game, the sense of luck. Are you feeling lucky? There's a sneak peek at the character. If you're not remembering who that character is, then just go to your Conclave Death section in your collection, and you'll remember Lucky Longshot. If you read her lore, you'll realize that she's called Lucky. Ironically, she's actually very unlucky. She everything she does is just hijinks left and right, and she's always doing something wrong. But somehow, through all these hijinks and all these chaotic behaviors and accidents and clumsy, Mr. Bean type situations, it turns out better than expected. All the unluckiness turned into luck, and I think that really speaks well to what we're trying to do here with these new mechanics. So, speaking of mechanics, let's take a look at this. Right now, if you are lucky enough to win, then your screen looks like this when you go ahead and click the button and say, hey, I want to see what my weekly draw looks like. And we're all eager to see it look like this. We want to see that black foil arcane or whatever pop up on the screen. And we go like, yeah, I mean, we all have been wanting that. And as Dave pointed out, lots of times that's not the case. Lots of times you click that button, you get, sorry, you get that Eeyore moment where it's like, it figures. Wasn't expecting it anyways. Although secretly in the back of our head, we were, right? We were all expecting to get the freaking black foil to pop up, and it didn't. So it feels to a lot of us like, well, we wasted all those battles. We wasted all those entries. We wasted our time and our energy, and we're left feeling maybe not overwhelmed, but a little disappointed, more so than we want you to feel. So Dave and Clay and Blaze got together and came to creative and said, let's turn this around. Let's change it. Let's make it a real win. And so that's what we try to do. And so now you might click the button, and sure, you might not get that black foil to pop up, but instead you don't have that Eeyore moment. Instead, it's like, oh, look what I got. I got lucky coins. And so now you're not left with nothing. You're left with something. Not only are you got something, but you see that little progress bar go bloop, 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 and it gets closer to that end goal. And you see that little thumbnail of what we're calling luckiest long shot. And here is if you actually get enough of those coins, then the screen might end up looking like this, where you actually end up saying, oh, I got 3 copies of this card. And yes, indeed, those are stats of a single copy, and I'll show you the max level in a sec. But before I do, there's also the leaderboard, because Dave was like, "That's not good enough. Let's keep going." So of course, all right. Well, what else do you want, Dave? So Dave's like, "Let's get a leaderboard. It's a year-long leaderboard. It's going to be like, as you accumulate these lucky coins and you're winning, you're reaching the reward milestones, and you're collecting more copies and you're combining them. And now every time you have that weekly draw, it's like, yes, you can't wait. Eeyore's gone. Now it's just like party time every time you click the button. That you're accumulating more and more throughout the year. And now there's a leaderboard to get even bigger prizes. So here is a picture of the lucky coin leaderboard that you'll have access to as you accumulate these these lucky coins. And it's also, you can get different versions of the luckiest long shot. So just to describe, we already talked about the character. She's already in the game. She's in the core Conclave set. She's a death character. This new version of her is luckiest long shot. And if you thought she was nutty before, she's pure RNG chaos now. You don't know if she's doing more harm to the enemy or to your own team. You'll notice that she still has the dual attack. She has ranged and magic, but the power of those attacks have been flip-flopped. Whereas her normal card has a 2 ranged and 1 magic. This one has a 1 ranged and 2 magic. So that's interesting. She has more speed. She has more health. She has armor. She's buffed up in every way. And as she's just, plucking, and you'll notice she has a bent wand in one hand, and she's throwing multiple boomerangs with the other hand. It's very chaotic, very crazy. You don't know who she's going to hit on the enemy team. And when she does hit them, she's going to shatter their armor, and they're going to go bonk. I can imagine a little cartoon, little birds or stars going around their head because she's stunning them left and right, the enemy team. Meanwhile, every time she does a ranged attack, you'll notice there's a new debilitation right there. Her first ability is a debilitation, because every time she does one of these scatter shot range attacks, she hits someone randomly on her ally team, and she might even end up hitting herself. Really, anyone on the ally team is a potential target for taking 2 true damage. So you're going to want to pile up the Pain Forge on any team that she's on. That's for sure. So it's pretty nuts. It's pretty crazy, and I think we're all pretty excited about it. So there is the luckiest long shot, and now every time you click that button, you're going to feel nothing but even when you're unlucky, you're lucky. And when you're lucky, you might be more lucky. And therefore, you might end up being the luckiest player, depending on how your luck goes. So flip those 4-leaf clover coins and hope for the best. And, may the gods of luck be in your favor when you participate in that. And that's coming up soon. I'm not going to make any promises, but all the assets are being handed off as quickly as we were able to make them. As you can see, we got UI, we got art, we got the card assets. So now, Harry and the development team are going to go at it and see how fast they could put this thing together. So I'm sure Blaze will be making an announcement once things are finalized and you guys get more information. But just know that is quite literally around the corner. So there is that.
Nate, what's the ability called? Tell them the name of the ability.
Oh, it's called Stray Shot, which is fitting, since you never know where that shot's going to land. And it kind of goes hand in hand with Long Shot, Stray Shot, because that's what she's just throwing that boomerang. All right, I think the next thing I might talk about, we're getting avatars, don't worry, but we did finalize the mini set, even though the mini set's getting delayed a little bit for testing purposes, which I think anyone listening to this agrees. You'd rather have a well-tested set than an untested one. So even though the art's great and the UI is coming along, and the development and the coding is great, and I think it makes sense. So props to all the players who signed those NDA agreements on participating in the testing. You're helping the whole community out and the team out in making sure that it is a perfectly polished and balanced and beautiful set and fun to play with. So there you go. But while we wait for it, why not talk about at least a little bit? The name of the new mini set will be Conclave Arcana Escalation. And there is the logo for those of you guys who want to just kind of like have fun with that. Or if you're a live streamer and you want to go take to social media, there is your first eyeballs on the logo for the upcoming mini set. So fun stuff there. I was thinking, do I show artwork? Do I not show? I think I'm going to keep a lid on that a little bit, particularly since we like to give as much alpha to influencers and product evangelists and things of that nature. Blaze will be reaching out probably, sooner rather than later as we finalize the art and stats and are able to, sneak that over to you guys. But I thought it would be fun to play What Is That Ability game. So there is quite a lot of new abilities being tested. And I am not going to give any of it away. I'm not going to share the mechanics. I'm not going to even share the names. But I thought it could be fun. I'll share the graphics and then you guys guess at what, and maybe Blaze, after I share this, maybe Blaze will come up with a cool contest or something where, over time we can see who got closest to figuring out what these things do. So I'll share the first one. You know what? I'm just going to zip them through. So here's one. Looks kind of like on fire, but I don't know. I mean, is it healing or doing damage? I don't know. Here's another one where it looks like you and your best buddy, your BFF. Like, what are they doing together? They got their arms locked, and here's another one where this guy looks like he's digging in. He's like, hey, oh, it reminds me of that Monty Python, none shall pass. That's what that guy reminds me of. This one looks interesting. Hey, shoot me. I can take it. Here's another one with another it looks like a little target symbol. But it looks like it's targeting someone who's coming at me. Maybe he works out at the gym, apparently. This guy looks like he's worked out at the gym too long. He's had enough of that. This one, yeah, well, take a little horned skull guy with lots of targets on him. Here's one with a couple blades coming at you, and then finally a spooky looking guy who seems to be behind two other people. Is he sneaking up on them, or is he helping them out? Who can say? So those are some previews, and you might be thinking to yourself, holy crap, Nate, that is a lot of abilities. I thought you said this was a mini set. Well, I think I overheard Dave just telling Call Me Tim and Royal Eagle, like, you better make this set the best thing ever. So I'm like, oh no, Dave. So they went to town. Like, whether or not all these abilities make it in, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the testing, right? But my best guess is yeah. I mean, a good portion of them, I think, are expected to make it into the game. So I hope you guys are getting ready for some major shifts in the meta. The game you're playing now may be a lot different in a month or two. So so prepare yourselves mentally, emotionally, and above all, I don't know, maybe start getting your SPS ready in case you want to use that as a currency for buying your packs. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's move on to avatars. This is a dear to my heart. I know Matt seems more and more excited every time I talk to him about the Avatar project, but I know that Creative has been long awaiting the opportunity for players to see themselves not as account holders or wall holders or players even, or users. A lot of time UX UI, like the user this, the user that, and we plan for the user journey. No. Long ago, I started telling the creative. No, I'm talking. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wait, in case there's a technical issue.
Just point to the, do your thing with your.
Oh, the weather.
Yeah, I can hear you and see you in the stream, but in the VOD thing, but on the actual stream, your copy.
Okay. All right. People only go to the town hall for my good looks anyways, so they don't need to hear what I say. All right, we'll give it a whirl. So tell me when to stop if I start stuttering again. So yeah, let's just jump right in. This screen right here, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but ultimately this is where you're going to start off in your avatar journey. deciding who you are as a battle mage, who is your persona, because we very much want you to feel like not a player or a user, but a battle mage in this immersive world of the Splinterlands as you travel throughout Pretoria, right? So here is the first screen. We intend to launch with 4 different bloodlines. So human, elf, orc, and dwarf. Those are going to be your options. Are there going to be more in the future? I mean, if we have anything to say about it, absolutely. And so we try to imply that with the additional containers there that you see below. We want to leave lots of room for growth and scalability as we add more and more bloodlines. What happens after you choose a bloodline? And of course, your body type, male, female, things of that nature. You're going to end up on a screen like this, where you're going to be able to start, deciding at a granular level what are the different traits. And you'll notice that they're named and numbered. I think by the time I got to the hair that I wanted, I had gone through the first 12 different versions of hairstyles. And I ended up, I like this one. So then I left it at that one, and then I chose the color of it. I decided on black hair. As I go down, you see that there's little color swatches on the side. So there's a lot of different granularity when it comes to mouth, nose, even eyebrows or eyes or hair or what I'm wearing, right? So we really want to give you guys the agency and the flexibility and the freedom to really communicate who it is that you want to be. And I think it's so fun playing with it. It's that screenshot is not from our UI. It's literally a screenshot of what's on the test server right now. And the team is playing with it and making sure that it works. I think that the sheer customize it, the customizable options that are available to you. I'll try to give you an example. I know we've done human in the past. In fact, here's an example of human. I'll drop this here. And you'll notice that that I have a little like plague-ridden face going on, like I'm suffering from some kind of disease. I got goggles, I got a hood. I chose, a specific frame at the bottom. I got the little title icons on it, and you'll notice at the top, and this is something that everything is subject to change. And I want to be I want to emphasize that very much, because I think this is the first time that Matt has seen the concept for the upper frame finalized and rendered. So after this, Matt says, no, we need something different. So I expect some of this stuff to change. But ultimately, the top will change. Like, for instance, that was black foil, and that's a legendary. At the top, you might see a wooden frame with a common gem, and there's a dwarf. I thought that was funny because he's all bug-eyed and grimacing, like he's either constipated or he's seeing something that's shocking to him. Like, I don't know. I like some of the expressions that are available when we look through this. Here's an elf. You'll see she has a little gold foil at the top, rarity gem of that's rare. But at the bottom, she's obviously expressing herself as an earth battle mage. She likes earth magic. And, got a little mask on there. And you'll notice that I said, let's add some tattoos. So you see some tattoos on her arm and her forehead. And those kind of little tweaks and adjustments are an option. And then what else we got here? What am I missing? Orc. Let's add an orc. So for the orc, I decided to add like a little headpiece. I gave him blue air, and I wanted him to be grimacing and like, I gave him a little scar or tattoos on his eyes and gave him red pupils. So it's really fun. And then the earrings, like I like that doesn't come naturally. I had to add those earrings to his ears. So it's fun. I think some of you guys are going to spend a good couple hours just playing with what do you want to look like. If you want to see what it'll end up looking like at the final piece, you'll notice that we're going to try to squeeze in your titles, your name. Matt Yaba was very vocal about needing achievement badges. So it might look something like this. Obviously, again, subject to change. But we're trying to allow for placement of all kinds of things that you can socially flex, that you can celebrate. So in this particular example, he's a level 82 battle mage with standard foil and an epic rarity gem. At the bottom, he has one of the death frames, so he's a death battle mage. As you can see, he chose the death pattern behind him. You got the warden and defiant icons in the lower corners of the avatar, but you also have them prominently displayed with the rarity colors there with his name displayed at the bottom. Up at the top, we're celebrating in the upper left-hand corner, we're celebrating what year he joined the game. So it looks like he joined 2018, right when the year we started Splinterlands. Looks like he's an avid collector because he has you recognize the Discord VIP room badge, which shows that he's a card collector who's reached a significant milestone and now has access to our Discord room for card collectors. You'll notice up at the upper right, he's reached our second tier of champion points. So he keeps hitting champion level and is accumulating these points. And then finally, it looks like he spends lots of his time in Diamond Modern format. And that is the other badge being displayed. And what we want to do is launch with enough achievements to where you can oh, what do I want to socially flex to other people, and then assign them to your avatar so that when you do show up battling someone, this guy versus this guy, and you see him on the battlefield, you're like, whoa, that guy's really, into land, or that guy's really, doing well at this other area of the game. And hopefully, as time progresses and the project evolves, we're going to be able to add more and more customized options to your avatar, whether it's maybe new frames for land, or maybe new titles, or new icons, or new achievement badges, or new backgrounds, or who named, hopefully new special glowing eyes that you can get if you unlock this achievement in the game, or you buy this new outfit with glint. I know that currently we're working on, for those of you invested in Soulkeep, you're like, hey, what happened to our avatar? We're not going to be able to use it anymore. Don't worry. We'll create a special Soulkeep chest piece that is only for those who maybe participated that way. Or we'll find other ways to where the special traits of your avatars are accessible in the game. Like what Matt said, probably first and foremost with glint is probably we're going to be our first focus is that on how to obtain this stuff. So that's enough of that. I know that we're holy crap, we got like a half an hour left of the town hall. We haven't even started questions and stuff like that. So I'll stop there. But hopefully those little tidbits will get you guys as excited as the team is for working on them. So there you go.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I didn't even realize the time, but yeah, the avatars are awesome. Like Nate said, we've kind of gone back and forth on designs and feedback. I haven't seen those latest versions until right now, so I was looking at them and picking them apart just like you guys were. As I've mentioned in the past, there is going to be more to this whole avatar system, significantly more than what we have shown and told you about. So, stay tuned for that. That should hopefully be out within the next month or so. You guys will see what we've been cooking up here. I was going to get ready to go right into questions to make sure we could answer as many as we could in the time. I didn't know, Dave or anyone else, if you had anything that we wanted to say before we do that, or that I might have missed.
No, I think we're good. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, and if we didn't, well, we already covered too much. So you're gonna have to wait for next month. All right, let's get the Q&A section rolling here. I say this a lot, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna do my best to actually try to go quickly through it to make sure we get to everybody's questions. Since we don't have a ton of time left, it's getting late for some of us. And if you have a question that does not get answered now, or you're listening to a recording of this later and a question comes up, feel free to post it in the town hall channel in the Splinterlands Discord, and one of the team members will try to get back to you as quickly as possible, so you don't have to wait for the next town hall in a month. All right, so we have the Q&A is now open. Gonna wait for the questions to roll in. I want one thing I mentioned in the Discord chat that maybe not everyone saw while Nate was showing the avatars is like it's important to understand that Nate was showing really cool avatars because they're cool to show. But the whole idea of what I talked about earlier is that like a new player coming into the game is not going to be able to make an avatar that looks that cool, right? They're going to have the more basic options, and it's going to look relatively basic. And then a lot of the cool stuff that Nate showed, there's backgrounds, there's frames, there's the badges, there's the stuff at the top there, which we didn't really get into what those numbers mean. That's one of the things you'll find out. Um, all that stuff is what you guys are going to have access to more easily, and newer players are going to have to earn or buy over time. So again, the whole idea is that you can kind of very quickly glance at a player's avatar and be like, "Oh my gosh, how did they get all this cool stuff?" And that's exactly what we're going for. Like, if you're someone who's been here and supporting the game and putting in money for a long time, we want to make sure it's very obvious. Like, you get the opportunity to show that off. I don't know. Maybe we explained everything so well. I don't see questions coming in.
Yeah, I don't either.
I guess this is like I'm gonna take this as a good sign, especially like Cryptomancer was incredibly thorough.
Really, all three of them.
Yeah,
But you started with Cryptomancer, then Blaze, then Nate. I mean, they all put on a clinic. You guys should be putting on classes. That like
Yeah.
teaching people this
TED
stuff.
Talks.
Yep. And in your case, weather shows.
Yeah.
all right,
I
we
have
have
a
a couple.
question.
Yeah, all right, go ahead,
Dave.
please.
Dave, were we ever able to back populate the lucky coins from the beginning of CA rewards or no?
That's the plan. We haven't started on it yet. Gator just getting around to figuring out which Debbie was going to assign to it, but I don't believe it's going to be a problem. Gator, do you think it's going to be a problem backdating it?
No, probably not. That should be backdatable.
So that's incentive now. If you're listening to Town Hall, incentive now maybe to get more draws, to get more chances, more coins.
Wow, that's actually pretty huge. So I think that is definitely worth emphasizing to the community.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agree.
I think it was mentioned earlier, but good to rehash it that it plans to be backdated. So all the entries that you've had where you haven't won should be counted when that's released. All right, we do have a few questions coming in. The first one from our faded glory: can I mean we get a Troll Master achievement for defeating the troll the first time? I mean, I guess so. I think the whole idea is that as we keep adding new achievements and new things, and they could be all types of different things, you'll be able to choose one of those badge slots on your avatar and pick what you want to show in there. Intrepid Surfer's asking, did we hear correctly that the mini set will come before the 15th of December? If so, will there be a pre-sale? So no, I think that was incorrectly heard. The mini set is going to be a little bit behind schedule. So we're looking at, hopefully very early 2026 for that to come out. The land cards is what Cryptomancer was talking about that we expect at the beginning of December. So maybe that's what you heard there. I don't think we have details of if there will be a pre-sale or not. Well, I don't know. Was there in the proposal?
I can handle that, Matt. Yeah, we are in the testing phase. We're moving along. We could put out the set in December, but we think it'd be better with a little more testing. Plus, from a marketing angle, we have a couple ideas on the marketing side, so I'm not too concerned, with it. So, having said that, yes, we are going to have a pre-sale, and we will have conflicts, and it's going to be nice. I mean, it's as Blaze says, it's going to be a banger. So, these guys have been doing what they need to do, as you can see by what Nate put out on the number of abilities that they've been testing. I mean, they've been working hard to make this set really cool. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, for those of you who may not remember, the set is going to be priced in SPS. So like effectively, SPS will be able to be used at a pretty significant discount for it. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes and what type of effect that can have. I myself have buffed up my SPS stake over the past month or so pretty significantly, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, one thing, Matt, that I've had people ask me about on both the mini set and on the land cards. On the land cards, we want to give you at this point, we'll give you at least a week. So just so you know, we'll give you a week. So it's not going to come like tomorrow. So but we do plan on it coming early December. And then on the mini set, we plan on giving you at least a month because we know you need to unstake. Right. So there's going to be some people that are going to want to unstake. So it's not like we're going to pop out and say, oh, here's the mini set. It's live. We'll give you a month. So if we haven't given you notice, then it's at least a month away.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I'm gonna have to probably do that myself. Um, all right, next question from Mega Marcus. Assuming that the next main set will come around at the end of next year, how do you want to create revenue in the next 12 months? The mini set revenue goes to the DAO. The CA set is running out in a few months. Yeah, that's a good question. There's a few pieces of that, and feel free to jump in, Dave, if I misspeak or you want to add anything. For one thing, I don't know necessarily when we will do the next main set. We are shooting to have it ready much earlier than the end of next year. So if it makes sense for the community and for the team, we might do it earlier. It could be later. And I think the plan is to do it similarly to how we've done previous sets, where it is a DAO proposal and the player base is the DAO is the one officially, launching the set and hiring us to create the set, assuming they want to do that. So, you guys and us will all be part of that conversation and decision, and we'll kind of see how things go. But we plan to have it ready, in the first half of next year. And there's already, I actually, I had lunch with Call Me Tim the other day, and we were kind of talking about what cool new features he has in mind, and I've been thinking about for the new major set. And I think that's, I guess we say this for every set that comes out, but we have some pretty cool and pretty different things for gameplay in mind. Some pretty new and interesting gameplay mechanics. So like, there was Rebellion, and we had the tactics as a big and cool new mechanic. Actually, when I was watching the MTG Jedi stream earlier, I learned about a tactic that I didn't even know about or think about. People would use put taunt from a tactic summoner on opponents' cards, to be able to direct their attacks at specific cards. And I didn't even think of that. And that's exactly the type of thing I was looking for from tactics, like clever things that you could do that aren't super obvious. But then with Conclave Arcana, there weren't really so many new game mechanics, but there was the new card foils and all that stuff. I think the next major set is going to be focusing more on new and interesting game mechanics, at least from what I've talked to Call Me Tim about. So I'm already breaking what I said earlier about not going on and on and on and trying to get through the questions more quickly. But I thought that was a cool thing to mention. And then also, as far as the CA set, the Conclave Arcana set running out in a few months, one thing I am very hopeful about is that we'll actually have really strong sales towards the end as the set is close to selling out. I think the proposal to burn the majority of the cards that the burn the majority of the packs that the DAO is holding from Conclave Arcana just passed the draft phase and is going into full official voting phase. But for those of you who don't know, the way it's set up is that all the arcane cards and the Archmage Yabanias card and other things, are in this bucket that are given out randomly to people that open packs based on how many packs are still available or unopened and available to be sold. So the idea is that as we get closer to the end, it will be increasingly more likely that you'll get one of those super special jackpot cards when you open a pack. Um, so the hope there is that there will be a much bigger rush than there has been in the past, to get packs right at the end there as they're selling out, as people see how many cards are still left in the jackpot pool, which you can see on the website. Um, so that's one way, that I at least hope that we'll be able to generate revenue both for the company and for the DAO, still from Conclave Arcana over the next few months. And if that goes well, that can also, keep the company going for a little while longer, until we decide to do the next that sale. Uh, let's see. Question from Cryptomancer. On a related note to the above, how are we doing on runway these days? Are we secure and good to go for another year? I'll say, it's we're in a roughly similar position, to where we have been, which is that we've gotten our expenses down significantly to where we're roughly break even if things stay the same. So that, gives us sort of infinite runway. Obviously, if things go south, we'll have to make adjustments. But big shout out to Dave while he's here on the call, because he has. I thought we reduced expenses a lot, myself over the last couple years, but then Dave's coming in and he's like just saying, "Oh, we don't need this, and what's this, and why are we doing this?" And he's cut tons and tons more expenses that I didn't even know that we could cut. He's been doing a great job on that, just to make sure we are secure and good to go. I can't promise anything. Things are kind of crazy in this industry and these markets. But we're definitely in a much better spot than we were a couple years ago. And so I don't know. I'm looking forward to what's coming up. Question from Mega Marcus. Maybe I missed it. Are the land cards with the energized ability work like Rooney? You have to decide to use it as a power core or put it as a worker, or it gives a power core while working. You want to take that one, Cryptomancer?
So when you have a card with the energized ability, it replaces the need for a power core. Now it's still a worker card, so it goes in one of your 5 worker card slots, but that means that you don't even need to have the power core in the power core slot. So you're free to remove that power core and use it for some other plot if you want. It's an exact power core replacement.
Cool. Another question from you. We've seen talk about a number of cool upcoming projects. What about SPS validators? Any plans for improving or evolving the validator network over the next year? I mean, that's really more a question for all of you guys and Claiborne, I guess. As far as the team goes, and myself, like we are focusing 100% on the project, the game itself. So um, there is the developer who's still being paid to work on the validator. I know. Investigator, you mentioned that there's the one SPS change proposal that I think he's been working on, so that'll be an update. So I think as far as improving and evolving the validator, it really comes down to what the community wants to see. So if you have ideas or things that you want, typically talk to Clay about it, see if it is something that we would need a proposal for, or it's just a general smaller change or whatever it is. But that's something that like we here are not focusing on. Uh,
Call me Rudy.
oh yeah, sorry, I lost my spot there. Thanks, Dave. Call Me Rudy is asking a question for Blaze. Do we have good numbers for what percentage of players are making the progression from Frontier to Ranked?
Yeah, I don't have the numbers on hand, but I will provide them.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Blaze, you showed some of the things from our dashboards of like drop off and everything. So we do have, I think, also from Frontier to Ranked or I guess Modern, and other things like that. Hopefully, we'll be able to share that with the community shortly. A question from Druid's Blood: do I have enough SPS? And there's a thumbs down there, so I think that answers the question. You never have enough SPS.
Hey, real quick, Druid's Blood, thanks for delegating 200k SPS to each one of the players for the Splinterlands Grand Prix. Good stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Question from Bjangles: plans to get G Drive updated with all the recent artwork assets?
Yeah, it's always a struggle for some reason. Just I think because we got so many balls in the air and working on so much, it's like it always kind of falls to the wayside a little bit. And I over the past few weeks, I've had to personally be involved in the exporting of assets, particularly for I don't know, certain cards that we were working on, and that means the battle cards and the collection cards and the different foils and the lore images. And we have this workflow now, this system set up whereby once you add the artwork to one, then it auto populates, boop, 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 and it does this stuff. And big props to Virev, our creative coordinator, for setting all that up. So I think ideally, and we're going to try to do this for this, starting with this mini set, is change the pipeline to where that's part of the process. So as we export everything that the devs need, we're going to also be exporting hopefully what the community needs. So right now, I know that like B Jangles has always been on top of me for the characters with transparent backgrounds. If the rest of the community also has particular needs for that kind of thing, for the character art that we made, like, oh, I wish it was this way or that way or whatever, then I just reach out to me and I could try to ask Virev to go ahead and include that in part of our pipeline work, so that every time we now generate new cards and it populates all these exports, that's part of it, is whatever it is, these other things that the community keeps asking for. So think about that. And then, yes, we'll get the characters with the transparent background, but also think about what else are you guys looking for in terms of what'll help you to be better ambassadors for the game, or product evangelists. What kind of assets can we provide to help you guys with that kind of thing? But yeah, that is on my mind. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Cool.
I want to give a shout out to Nate. You know, Nate, Alfredo was out for 2 weeks. He went to Japan. So, you know, we didn't stop at all. We just kept plugging along, and Nate had to roll up his sleeves and do the job that he normally did, and also do Alfredo's job. So if he looks a little frazzled today, it's probably because, you know, he's been through hell for the last 2 weeks. But Nate, you did a great job.
No, thank you.
All right, I lost my spot again. Hold on.
Intrepid
Here we go.
Surfer.
What's that?
Intrepid Surfer.
Intrepid
Oh,
Surfer.
no, that's not a question. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see. But Mega Marcus is right afterwards.
Yeah.
Matt, you're working on the Brawl and Guild overhaul. I know no details yet, but maybe you can tell us what your intention is working on it, i.e., too many leechers with no investment. What's your vision after the overhaul? Yeah, I mean, I like that question. And the vision is pretty much the same as for everything else I think we're doing with the product. Like, I just want, the guilds in this sense, and the guild brawls, be like a super fun and engaging experience for everybody. I mean, that's what it's about. I feel like in the past there was a lot of focus on like, oh, how exactly do we set up, tokenomics and make sure people burn this stuff and do these things or whatever. And at this point over the years, I've learned like we just need to focus on making a really fun and engaging experience that people like just really enjoy participating in, and then they'll spend whatever the tokens are. Like we don't have to like, we were looking at it from the wrong way in the past, I think. So that's the goal of the guild overhaul. And we want to make it so, I think guilds, not just I think there's been like actual, a lot of research on this. It's a kind of like a fact that something like guilds is one of the biggest things that encourages player retention in games. So we want to make sure when new players come in, as they go through the campaign mode tutorial type of thing, part of it is like just getting them into a guild and showing them how that works and making sure they can contribute in a guild as a brand new player, meaningfully. And then also that it's super fun. So I've mentioned, what we're thinking about for the Brawl overhaul is, basically like an entire new game mode using Splinterlands cards. Um, that I think is going to be really different and exciting and fun for everybody to participate in. So between all those things, and one more thing, I also want to integrate all the other stuff that's happening in the game into guilds and vice versa. So I feel like right now, like a lot of things are separate. Like you do your land over here, you do your ranked play over here, you do your guild over there. We have a little overlap here and there, but I want everything to be very intertwined. So, players who are only land players should be able to also benefit their guild and get benefits from being in a guild. Players who don't have anything to do with land should be able to participate in the guild, and the guild should also help them in their ranked play or whatever it is, and vice versa. So really want to integrate everything together, into one like really fun and engaging thing, that people enjoy. And it's hopefully going to be much more interesting than even right now, where like the guild brawls, like, okay, you go, you submit your 5 or 6 battles, and then you see if you won. Right? It's going to be a much more involved and interesting process. So, um, that's the goal. It's pretty much the same as all the other stuff that we're doing, uh, and also the avatars, right? By participating in the guild, you should hopefully be able to get new cool stuff to show on your avatar, if you want. And also the other things we haven't been saying about the avatar project is also going to allow you to contribute to your guild, um, in certain ways. Question from Oh, yeah, Ron's talking in my ear, about ending questions, and that is a good idea because I'm looking at the time. We're coming up on 2 hours. So yeah, let's give it a quick minute to let everyone, put in their final questions. If you haven't put in already, then we're going to end questions. And once again, you can always post them in the town hall channel in Discord, and a team member will get to them. Question from Dehota. Why do I have so much glint FOMO all of a sudden? I don't know. Maybe because we've been talking about, the upcoming stuff that you're going to need glint for. But I think there is going to be some glint FOMO. My like personal goal in a lot of this stuff is like I watch the overall glint balance in the system. I see the players that have tens of millions of glint, and I'm like, how do we get all of that to be spent? Where no one is sitting on too much glint. And everyone is just saying, how do I get more? How do I get more? How do I get more? Because then we can, open up new avenues for getting more, like the guild overhaul. There may be opportunities by participating in your guild to earn more glint. Um, and I have the same mindset for most of the things in the game, including land resources. I think there was some discussion earlier in the chat about, right now there's just a lot of production of land resources and not enough stuff to use it for. So when we're, thinking about the next phases and implementing the phase 2 stuff as Cryptomancer's next project, in my mind, it's like, let's make sure that everyone just does not have enough land resources to do all the things. So land resources, become scarce and more valuable, and people need to participate even more. Um, so that's the mindset on glint and other resources. Question. Yeah, I mean, it's really every resource, right? In the game, we don't want it to be a situation where people just have way too much stuff and they're just sitting on it waiting for it to be used. I think deck and SPS, are ultimately the way that you're going to get all this other stuff. So if people don't have enough glint and they need to get more, they're gonna hopefully need more cards and do better in battles and do more guild stuff or whatever it is. So you're gonna need deck effectively to do all that stuff, and then SPS, follows deck. So that's how I envision that working. Same with land resources. Question for Yaba from Samwise: fish or chicken? The funny thing, I feel like this was asked before, I don't know, sometime in the past, and I answered it, and my wife was listening to the town hall, and she said I was wrong. Um, so I think I said fish before, and she said no. I eat way more chicken, and I think I do eat way more chicken, but I feel like I answered fish because like I enjoy fish more, maybe because I don't eat it as much. So there you go. I feel like I enjoy fish more, but I eat chicken much more often. Um, Question from Mega Marcus: could opening the Dow CA packs be an alternative to burning them, according to the current proposal? It absolutely is an alternative, and if the DAO would prefer to do that, they can do that. I personally don't think that's as good an option. It would solve the problem um, of the DAO packs just sitting there would make a lot of the cards in the jackpot prize bucket just sit there forever and no one would get them. If the DAO opened all the packs, they would get some number of the prizes in that jackpot prize, and then it'd be up to the DAO if they want to distribute them or not. Um, my guess is that well, one thing is I think the DAO either way is just getting way, 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 way too many packs. Just the way it's set up was kind of set up incorrectly, I think, in hindsight, where the DAO is getting a percentage of the unsold packs rather than a percentage of the sold packs. So it's a situation similar to what we see with Rebellion, where the DAO will end up having like possibly more packs than all the packs that were actually sold. So if they just open them instead, they're going to have like more CA cards than anyone else has combined in the entire game or similar amount. Like I don't think that's good. Um, so I think no matter what, the DAO should reduce the amount of packs it has and it is receiving to a more reasonable level. And at that point, the DAO could open them or not open them, whatever you guys think. That's just my opinion. It's just one opinion, and if the player base and the SPS holders want to do something different, that's exactly how this is set up to work. Question from Juice Crypto: after the pack burn from the prop, is the decentralized infrastructure ready to feel the heat from all the pack holders rushing to open their packs after the burn? Well, for one thing, I doubt it's going to be nearly as many packs as that were open when the set launched. That was still one of the most fun, like 24 hours I can recall in a long time, with the huge rush and at seeing all the notifications. Like people were complaining that there were too many notifications of people getting arcane cards, and I was like, well, that's just for right now. That's gonna decrease very significantly as it has. But also, I'll mention, and I think this is mentioned in the proposal, that if since we're doing it right now, the change is not going to be very drastic because right now, still the majority of the packs are still the ones that are remaining available for sale. So that's why it's really important that this proposal, if we're going to do something, we do it now so that there's no like humongous change where if I open a pack before the proposal passes, I somehow lost out on an opportunity after it. I actually show the numbers in the proposal about the change in chances, and it's very small. If we wait till the end when the pack sale is close to or completed, um, to burn the packs, then all of a sudden it will go from a very low chance to a very high chance, which I think would annoy a lot of people who open packs before that. So that's another thing about why it's important to do that proposal sooner rather than later. Another question for Mega Marcus. I think Mega Marcus might get a badge for like most questions in town halls on his avatar. What do you think about enlarging the SPS distribution time through some proposals in the past? SPS was not intended as a reward token. It was just a way of distributing it through different ways in 60 months. I'm not sure I really understand the question, but um, I mean, my personal thought is that I think the SPS distribution seems fine as is and is going generally well. But if you have like a specific proposal on something to change, let's start, circulating that and see if there's approval for it. Keegs is asking a question. Good to see you here, Keegs. Can you let people know they have to check into the Triad Talk tournament? All right. Well, I guess there's a Triad Talk tournament. And if you want to play in it, go check in. I don't want the town halls to turn into like some type of announcement thing through questions. So, Eags, you get a free pass. Um, all right, I think we hit the end of the questions. Hopefully, I did not miss any.
I missed one at the very beginning, which
I missed one at the very beginning. Oh man,
kind of a joke question, kind of not. Lindsay System was asking when Pink Critter, because we have been taking community feedback on card designs. So if you get enough people that want that to be a card in the future, maybe somebody might consider it.
I saw the Pink Critter image, and I think that distracted me from actually reading the question under it. But yeah, thank you, Investi, for being on top of that. Investi has very good attention to detail, which I think is very important for his job role, and why things have been going so well, I think, in general. So okay, wow, we're just about at 2 hours in. So this was actually good timing. This was a banger of a town hall. I didn't actually know going into it that it would be like so much and so good as it was. Cryptomancer, as always, doing an awesome job, not only building all the stuff but actually showing it and explaining it to everybody. Thank you for coming on. It's always great to have you here. Hopefully, we'll see you, more as the next land projects roll out over the next year. And then, Investi, thank you, and the developer team, as always, for just doing so much stuff with a very talented but very small group of people. Um, Blaze and Dave, there's just been like so much stuff going on the marketing and promotion side. So that's great to see. And then Nate, as I said earlier, I hadn't seen a lot of the stuff that you showed yet, so I was, just trying to take it all in along with everybody else. So thank you for that. And I think that'll do it. We will be back in a month. It looks like that will be December 18th. It's gonna be the 11 a.m. Eastern U.S. time town hall as we swap every month. It will be our last one of the year. My hope is that all of the cool stuff that we talked about trying to get released before the end of the year will be done by that point, because we try to make sure everything is out, well enough before the holidays so we can take care of any issues before people, go away or take off work. So that should be a hopefully a really good one too, where we kind of talk about all the stuff that was recently released and how people are liking it. So thank you again, everyone for who's on the call, for being on. Thank you for everyone listening. Go support our Splinterlands Grand Prix players. That's to help make that project as good as it can be. Hopefully, we'll do a lot more of those, and we will talk to you again in a month. Thanks, everyone.